today I want to talk to you about the 5 things I really like about the Supercub and the 5 things I dislike. So we're going to do the dislikes first. Let's get those out of the way. Now I'm really having to be quite picky to find 5 things I don't like. So they're certainly not major, but we'll go through them from number 5 to number 1. One thing I dislike most of all. So number 5 on my list of dislikes: slow dithery drivers. No, I'm joking. Number 5, lack of storage. There is no storage whatsoever. Even the toolbox is tiny, it just fits the toolkit. You could get a biro in there and fold up some £5 notes or something, but that's about it. So there is no onboard storage on the Supercub. Number 4, is the warning lights on the instrument panel. The little high beam light, particularly the indicator repeater, it is tiny, and I'm forever leaving the indicators on because I can't see the little repeater light. Number 3. Oh, slow down for the speed camera. I was only doing 32. So number 3 on my list of dislikes, and this is quite subjective and you know, does cause quite a bit of controversy in the Cub world: the keyless ignition. Now, I'm not a great fan, I'd rather have a key, but I'll tell you what, the keyless ignition for me has never been an issue. And I had one of these before. I had the first model, I had it for 4 years. I've had a couple of big twist and go scooters with the keyless, and they've all been fine. I've never had a problem. So that brings us to number 2 on the list of dislikes. Number 2 is the Snatchy throttle. Now, you know, this is being quite picky really, because when you get used to it, it's no problem. It's at its worst at about 30 mile an hour in top gear if you go on and off the throttle. It's just a little bit snatchy, a little bit jerky. It doesn't go on and off the throttle smoothly, but I'm thoroughly used to it. I don't even notice it anymore, but it is there. So, you know, I am struggling to find these dislikes. So what's the number 1 thing I dislike about the Supercub? That is the small fuel tank. 3.7 litres just isn't enough. Now, it's not the end of the world if you don't believe the fuel gauge. You've got to remember, this fuel gauge is super pessimistic, and it'll do at least 100 miles. Even nailed on the motorway, it'll do over 100 miles on that tank. so it's not such a massive problem, but I would like it if it held 5 litres. That would be perfect. I have mitigated that somewhat by fitting an auxiliary fuel tank on the back with another 3 litres in it, enough for another 100 miles. So there we have the 5 things I dislike about the Supercub, and that was a struggle to find those 5, and they are being very picky. It's such a nice bike that I'll forgive it those 5 things. Now we'll get on to the best bit. We'll do the 5 things I like about the Supercub C125. Right, let's get on to the things I do like. I could have made a list of 20, I reckon. Finding the top 5 was pretty easy. So, number 5 on the list. Handling. This thing handles like a little race bike. It goes around corners without hardly thinking about it. Even the original tyres are quite good. It's certainly in the dry, in the warm, dry weather, there's nothing wrong with these tyres whatsoever. In the winter, when it's wet, they're not perfect. But it won't be long before I'm fitting a set of Michelin's. I've got the tyres already. Michelin City Extras are going to go on it. We've got a big tractor. I'm not going to argue with him. Give him all the room he wants. So number 4 on the list. God, he's shifting. It's just a young lad riding that. Number 4. Comfort. The seat is supremely comfortable. It really is. I was going to fit a dual seat like I did on my other one, but I've decided not to, because the dual seats are actually quite hard. You can slide back a little bit on them, but yeah, they're a bit rock hard and narrow. This is plush and beautifully comfortable. It's got nice thick rubber footrests for your feet, so your feet are nice and comfy. We'll come back to that later, because it sort of fits in with my number 1 choice of things I like. So we'll go on to number 3. Number 3 on my list of things I like is the economy. Wow, this thing's good on fuel. I regularly get 160 plus, and I haven't seen worse than about 146, 145 to the UK gallon. It's absolutely amazing. I have seen it over 200 to the gallon. Went out on a ride with the old boys and we've just been poodling around the lanes at 30 mile an hour all day. It will do 200 miles to the gallon. That's unbelievable. That was nearly my top category. I absolutely love that economy. So let's go on to number 2 on my list. And this vied for top spot as well. But the number 2 on my list is just the sheer style. The style and good looks of this bike. I just love the way it looks and the style. It's a real thing of beauty. When I've got it on my patio and I sit and I clean it, I'll clean it and polish it. I'll grab a chair, sit there with a bottle of beer and just stare at it. And I can stare at it for ages and just admire the design, the style, the colour, the beauty. I absolutely love it. So what is number one on my list of things I like about the Supercub? Well, number one is the ergonomics. For me, this bike fits me like an absolute glove. It fits me as well as these Luftwaffe gloves. Bloody perfect. All the fingers are the right length. How often do you find gloves that the bloody fingers are the wrong length? And it's the same with the Supercub. The handlebars are in exactly the right place. My arms aren't stretched at all. They're nice and relaxed. The seat, the handlebars and the foot pegs are all in just the right place. Same as the controls. You know, the gear change is lovely and smooth. The back brake is in just the right place. Everything just works so well together. And that just makes it such a pleasure to ride. So that is my number one feature of the Supercub 125. The ergonomics. And that does sort of blend together with the comfort, really. Because I can sit all day and ride this, and I have, and I will, you know, I do regularly sit on this all day. I just don't get off. I ride it until I have to stop to put fuel in it. That's how good it is. So there we have it, the 5 things, the 5 dislikes are very picky, and the 5 likes are why I bought it and why I love it so much. So that's all we've got for you today, and I'll see you again soon for another video.